Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy and you are listening to Night Talk. It's 10:35 on October 27th and yeah, I'm just going to come live for I don't know, maybe 25 minutes, maybe till 11 o'clock, all right? Um, I said I'm not going to stay on late. Nope. I can't. Shout out to my moderators who have joined me, Vicky Black and Baby Juju, and all of you. So, shh, I'm saying like shh to my dog. So I was looking at that same video transcript that I started reading from last night. And I took another, like just browsing through it because I haven't read it in the kind of detail that I want. But there were so many breadcrumbs thrown out and so many things that they said. I mean, they really, without saying the person's name, they identified the person because they were talking about a certain shirt that they wear sometimes, with the expletive on it and something about that. I just noticed it. Mhm. She says, like, did you actually say why that person had the dot, 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 shirt? And making time to say this or that. Wow. And then she also said, there's some key words in here. She was like coaching them, telling them that, and the audience, that they're going to refile at a later date a whole new case with my knowledge, my hindsight, and I'm going to refile this case. And then I'm also, this time around, I'm going to have all the evidence. I'm going to know my rights. I'm going to know my rights. I'm going to be more assertive. And I'm going to stop responding so that they can't say it's mutual contact. So, all throughout this recording, they were talking about this individual, collaborating with this individual. It's right here. Talking with this individual, coaching this individual, getting the follow up, giving them advice on how to do this next time. Telling them about the lesson. Says, yeah, so this is a lesson for everybody. Everybody out there, if you are going to, then pause this, if you're going to be responding, that can mess up your case. And that's why people always say, if you actually have a lawyer, Sabrina, she said my name multiple times throughout this too. This individual was really, they were disappointed in the very big way. But one thing that they didn't do is on the form that they showed, they only showed the box that said other and two words: mutual contact. That's not a ruling. The ruling was it was denied. And there's an explanation to that she didn't show. I mean, all throughout this, it really reads like someone who is, they are definitely frustrated. And they're complaining about the judge. They're complaining about my lawyer. They're complaining. Like, yes, it's personal. Like they're having their grievances because it didn't go their way. They were invested in this. It's right here. I'm not making this up. For me to give my opinion, it's stated in all of these words. She knew too much about this private hearing. She explains it by detail. She even knows that I brought up her name. She mentions that. How would she know that? How would she know what the judge said to me specifically about that? It's as plain as it's just there. She got a hold somehow of that information, detailed, play by play by play, exactly. And she even said that the person described me to her. That means they had a conversation. Wait a minute. Right here it says, because the judge saw us as mutual exchange, mutual contact, mutual combat, that we both are just as guilty. But instead, you log in. So she's talking about me logging into the Zoom. Mhm. With your big old heavy head. And I got how you were described as having these chipmunk cheeks, like these big old lumps on the side of your face. You were getting the description. You were talking to this individual. Either you were talking with her or you were watching the hearing. You can play it because I'm going to make sure that this is included. This is an hour and more than 10 minutes specifically only talking about this hearing. Talking about the litigation, the lawyer, blow by blow by blow. Talking about the individual and how inexperienced that they are when it comes to, trying to speak when there's a lawyer present. How would she know that? How would she know that? Unless she had a conversation or she was watching the hearing, either live or in a recorded later, before she came on the very next morning. She says you totally wanted to deflect. You don't want to admit that you were actually trying to attack this person? So this whole litany is in defense of this person through them as a proxy and a patsy for her. You can play it because I got the receipt. That's the only way to describe it. It's right here. These admissions right inside of this. I haven't really looked at this detail. But what was just dropped on ECF 91 last Thursday, a big denial of, having anything to, wow. I can't defame you when it's right here. It's in your own words. It's in your voice. You took ownership. You said my video. You described it. You said you were there to talk about the hearing. My hearing. That person's hearing. She was in touch with that individual before the hearing, well before the hearing, because she made videos that she posted on April the 2nd, a week before the hearing. At the same time, Another person posted on the same day. Everything synchronized on multiple days, echoing the same words, the same goal, the same meeting of the minds. Yeah, maybe I didn't. Well, let me just whoa. Let me hang on here for a minute. Put on some. Put on this. Wow. Hang on. Somebody else defended. Oh my goodness. Hang on. Wow. That's what I'm going to do. Turn it down real low. This is astounding. I didn't know that was in there. Yes. She told on herself. She did. That's all this is. You know, side note, only because this person railed on me and used the word and said that I'm lying about a conspiracy. They said, you're lying about a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. That's all you do. You make stuff up. I don't know how this is going to go, guys. This is like one of the most important moments this week. There's so many receipts, but I have to just focus on the ones that are necessary right now, because I have to be specific. The judge asked me to respond to ECF 77. So I'm not going to go outside of that. Didn't have my Gatorade. This is the, I said the other was the fork in the road. I have served this defendant as I was instructed through her email. She is fighting that what the judge, magistrate allowed. She's fighting everything. Objecting to it. Objections. She has an emergency motion to stay for November the 3rd. The judge hasn't responded yet. I don't know if she is. It's not over until it's over. And it's not over until November the 3rd at just about midnight. As far as the judge responding, anything could happen. Even up until. But the thing about this is, there's another plaintiff here. We know who that is, Smith. Her judge has given her an order to serve the same defendant once that information is known, and she has 7 days to do it. I think that's what she said. I haven't looked. I think she said her date was for, let me see, it would have been, so it's the 3rd, the 10th, that's a week. So November the 10th, I believe, she said. So that's a domino thing here. Because you have another courtroom that's expecting that information to be revealed. You see, there's a different courtroom. They're waiting for the person to get the information too, because that clock starts ticking on the 3rd for another date. And what would that judge have to think or say, not including the judge in my case, if it's not stayed and she's expected to reveal her real legal name? Somebody can say my name is Kathy Jones. How do I know you're Kathy Jones? The judges, let me tell you, there's going to be some way that she's going to have to be able to know that that's the real legal name. Because she's had so many aliases like Alana Wilson or the others. And then she has to have an address, even if it's a registered agent. Now she has the registered agent there in Wyoming. I'm not certain if she's going to use that as the address or if she's going to secure a different registered agent's address. But that one better work, because there won't be any excuses like, well, no, that one has to be active, live, and verifiable. It won't be like, well, Ben signed and, he didn't put that he was, he didn't fill the card in correctly. Because Smith is going to be expecting when she sends the summons and complaint, which means she's going to go to the courthouse and get a summons issued if they don't let her, use the previous one. And then put those papers, all of those papers, again, that she filed the first time when she served her at a registered agent, and get it to her by the 10th. I think that's what it is. I actually have not read that. I just have, like many of you, I heard her say the 10th. So you best believe she's going to be on it. Like the next day. Pronto. to get it served unless, I don't know. I couldn't, she has the use of the Marshall service. So, however that worked before, there's still a document that the U.S. Marshal Service have to complete if they're going to serve her at an address. And whether or not it's going to be that little storefront in Wyoming that has more than 200,000 businesses that use that address, and people in Wyoming complaining that the mail is going to their houses in the area. It kind of needs to be a place where they're going to get, going to really get it. Like, not to say that they wouldn't, but that there isn't this possibility that something comes up and someone says, well, it went to, a street address a block away and it got lost. Because there's a history. The Washington Post and other authorities have already done research on this location. And there's been some problems with just ordinary delivery of documents. That's not my words, it's there. It's actually in the record. So that means there's going to be several eyes if there isn't a stay. You've got 2 different courtrooms that are expecting a response on November the 3rd, let alone plaintiffs, myself, and Smith. So maybe she'll respond if there isn't a stay. She knows that's the deadline. You see what happened? It was June the 4th, I believe, was the deadline that I was to file something. Well, John Doe was supposed to have his filed the day before. I think it was like the 3rd. He was a day late. The judge let him, she took note of it. So, could it be? A lot of things can happen. I'm just going on how I see people move so far. There shouldn't be an excuse if the judge hasn't, put a stay, that the person wouldn't give the information by midnight. Not the next day, like John did a day late, when he knew that he would be submitting something on the day that was given to me for something different. It's kind of like the same thing. I'm one day behind her on an order for a deadline. Yes, if the judge doesn't stay, the order, then she's expected to reveal her identity. I'm not going to say what's going to, because I don't know what's going to happen. But if anybody thinks that by me talking about it or saying that, that's an order from the judge. So far. But this is Monday. So there's, technically 6 days now? 7 days and 1 hour. I'm looking at the countdown. It's going to soon change. Somebody was trying to, I'm going to say, something like set a trap for me today. I don't have to tell you what that trap is, but I definitely know that someone was trying to set one today. Yeah. She said that she was going to disappear. Let me see. I don't know if I have that transcribed. I've been busy doing other things. I've got to get these things done. Find it. But she said she was going. She said if she ever thought that they were going to, that her identity was going to be, revealed or known or like that, the same kind of meaning, that she would disappear first. She has the means. She said she had the means. She said she had plenty of money. I think I'd need to find that one. I wouldn't say this, guys, if I didn't have it. She said she has the means. And she said that we would never find her. She said, I have plenty of money. She said, I have it coming in every week. She said, I don't need YouTube. she's going to disappear, is what she said. She's playing out like at the end of the movie where Kaiser Sose disappeared, because she uses that image, that meme. She's been given that sign for a long time. I don't know what she's going to do. She won't run if the judge stays. She's like going to be right there waiting. She's already, whatever she's planning, if she's planning something, it's already in place. It's already in place. I believe it's already in place. If she's going to do something, if she's going to run, if she's going to disappear like she said she would, that has already been taken care of. It's already in motion. That's what I would think. It's just a matter of when, if. Would she run? She said she'd run, but she said if she thought someone's going to find out. Did she think she would be in this position when she said that? Or was she saying that thinking that it wasn't going to go down like this? Like, maybe someone figure out who she is. That kind of thing. I don't think so. The way it came across, it's like she said the only way she would be found out is if the police. And then she said they would have to do like some real interviewing, digging. Even they were going to have a difficult time finding her, identifying her, but that they could do it. Somebody's moving something else. Somebody is moving something else around. Totally different person. Yeah. Wow. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen. I know I've got to take care of my stuff for the 4th. And I'm going to need every moment to do it. I don't know. Maybe she's just going to, if the judge doesn't stay, maybe she's going to surprise us and say, well, I gotta show up. Because one thing would aggravate the court. I know it would aggravate the court. If information was given and it wasn't real. But I'm telling you, what I've listened to, this person has said that they cannot be found. In other words, it's that important. Hmm. Has nothing to do with what she's trying to convince the judge of. No. Mm-mm. At all. Mm-mm. It's deeper than that. I really think so. I don't know. I said I think so. She knows she doesn't care about. No, I have to say, because I have a receipt. She doesn't care that she lies. She said it. She doesn't care that she lies on forms. It doesn't mean anything to her. But if she really thought she was going to be found out, she has got to exit. She did. She said only the police could find her. Well, the feds can find her too. Well, all of that. If only because she said she was going to disappear, we wouldn't even be having this conversation as a possibility, but we have to, I don't know what the judge is going to do. And yeah, yeah, she's so Patricia's saying she's too far and too deep into the court case. Have been responding, have been, oh, yeah, we're up to ECF 91. Okay. And there were, many documents filed before that, but maybe we were in the 20s or 30. I have to look back. But there's been a lot since she's come in to the case. Hmm. All I would say is, I don't know. Would a person be that? That just wouldn't be smart. She can't run, though, you say? She says she's going to disappear. She said layers have been put into place. She's getting money from somewhere because she said she has plenty of it. So she said, John said it's his money, okay? Somehow somebody's getting money back to her. She said it. You see, I have the receipts. Yeah, it will be like, she said she would be 4-5 steps ahead. Like, oh, it's like, You think the person's over here, a decoy or this or that, a distraction, something, so that it will be done in a way, if that's what might happen. In other words, what I'm saying is this planning that will have already gone into it, because she said she'd be that far ahead. So if she is that far ahead, then that's why I say she doesn't know whether the judge is going to stay this or not. She doesn't. So she's planning for everything. And I'm sure in the valley of what am I going to do? I don't know. But anyone would wonder, what are they going to do? They've got a deadline. What am I going to do? What if I do this, then that? What are my options? Mm-hmm. She said she's working on a PhD. Okay. Because she's anonymous. And she said she uses all of these burner accounts, fake emails, fake names, aliases. So if a person doesn't give up that information, then they can still think that they can get away. Mhm. I said if. She might surprise us. If the judge, see, this is all, we're just, yeah. In other words, it's just not me. There's another courtroom. There's judges. This is a federal court. She did say people were put into place. Mm-hmm. Layers before, in advance, before she even came on this platform. And people don't, haven't heard her say that. I can't say that. I just don't know how it would go down. I will still have to meet my deadline. I have a deadline, November the 4th. Okay? I don't know. I think even at the last hour, something could happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But then that would mean the other judge would have to, got make a decision too. Because I've served her. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting on to see it. But the judge, they're gathering everything right now. Even they're waiting on my response to make a big, just to see where all of this is going to go. So I'm not out of, I haven't made it, back to home, hit a home run here. There's just so much going on. I keep getting up to bat. you know, I don't know. I'm just astounded um at the just brazen. Yeah, they've got to have a huge ego to just say some of the things that they've done, because they really believe that they're going to remain anonymous, that she said, I'll never be found. And you know what, Black Rabbit? Yeah, I'm going to talk about you for a minute. Only with receipts. Black Rabbit said that this is her friend that she loves. Okay. And she has, on occasion, come up to bat for her. And one time, she took to the airways. I didn't expect her to blow a gasket at me, but she did. Twice. In her video, and I've got to get them transcribed now, I really want to know. It seems that I recall her saying that we're never going to find out who Danny is. And remember, I said, how does she know that? She said that. You don't go around saying you're never going to find her. You're never going to find Danny if you don't know something. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Ask a question before I move any further. But she said that. I will get the exact words at some time. Let's see. To love or be friends with someone requires some kind of identity. Even if it's just a screen name, a voice, a pattern, or interaction. You can't form a real attachment to a total void. So either they do know who that person is, I'm read back, at least enough to have formed that bond, or that statement is an emotional bluff meant to sound loyal while hiding. And that what they've just done is quietly contradicted themselves. That's why I said it. That's why it stood out for me. And I still ask that. How can she say you will never find Danny Robertson? Nobody else that I've heard, because that was kind of shocking to me. How can you say that down the rabbit hole news, that no one is ever going to find Danny Robertson? How could you say, I still want an answer to that? How can you say that? She said you'll never find her. Is she just a figment of our imagination? Is there something that you know, Black Rabbit? In a voice box? Something you know? Something around you that would let you know that? That's a valid question, because she said it. And I've always been like curious about, how would she know that? I mean, she was really like, she was so definitive. You're not going to find her. So that would mean you know where she's hidden? Yes, Joanne. Yes. There's something about, trust me, I have thought about this in a lot of different ways. I'm just not talking about it. But that stands out to me. No, it can have different meanings. Trust me. They're playing game with that. I'm talking about Black Rabbit. Mm-hmm. Because she knows something. At least she comes off like that. Yeah, it's got to be put out there in the universe. Yes, Black Rabbit, you said it. You said a lot about Danielle that's in these videos. Mm-hmm. Like you have knowledge of something. So maybe she'll show up if the judge doesn't stay. Because she won't be able to wiggle out of that one, because that's on tape. She has said things like, "You don't want to cross or meet with Danny." Y'all don't remember that? She was dropping breadcrumbs too. Say I'm lying. I got the video. Mhm. The bookends. Yeah. Oh, there's something. There's something. Trust me. Somebody been moving around. There's a lot of people moving around. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was so. I don't know how she was. I really don't know how she was found out. She thought it was me. I had nothing to do with it. She even asked me, basically alluded to it. It's like, no, I didn't have anything to do with it. Mm-mm. In other words not said, but something said that it's you understand it. Mm-mm. I didn't even know their association. I didn't. Mm-mm. Not until I confronted her about that Tammy thing. That's when I realized. That's the first time I realized she pushed back. Like, and then a light bulb came on. Like, I've been talking to you and you are close to, wow, what did I do? And she just eating it up. Yeah. Oh, somebody's going to say that wasn't a conspiracy. A conspiracy, two or more, to take down Nosy whole life. Oh, you call it what you want. The receipts are in. There were so many players with a common goal. Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Black Rabbit, something about it. You said she. What you know? I know that they both had that. What is it, that mask? What do you call it? That Houdini or whatever mask. Hmm. The Anon mask. Rabbit wore that mask in her videos, or she had it on thumbnail before we knew who she was. So she was into the Anon too. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say anything that's not true. Okay. Just watch how people move. Watch what they talk about. Watch, just watch what, just watch. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. All right, it's 11:45. There it is. That's it. Hmm. That's it for me. I could take this in a whole different direction, but I got to stay focused right now. Also, you can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. I appreciate all of you who have joined me. We just have a conversation and it's night talk right now. Yeah. Okay. Got to get some rest. Got to get back at it. Let's see some of these comments. I'm good. All right. That's it for me. Biggest bear hugs go out to each and every one of the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out. Join me sometime. Um, yeah. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.